Have you ever stopped to think that that convenient canned food might actually be quietly stealing your health? Many Americans over 60 believe that opening a can of soup or beans is a quick and harmless solution. But what if I told you that this simple habit could be raising your blood pressure, messing with your glucose levels, and even speeding up the aging of your heart? According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, over 70% of the sodium Americans consume comes from processed and ready-to-eat foods like canned goods, and that excess is one of the main factors increasing the risk of high blood pressure, heart problems, and strokes. The worst part, many of these dangers don't show up right away. They build up silently and only make themselves known when your health is already in trouble. Now picture this. You're relaxing at home. You open a can of soup thinking you're making a simple, maybe even nutritious choice, and along with it comes a load of salt and preservatives that overload your heart and kidneys. It's like every can is another brick in an invisible wall, separating you from full health. That's exactly what we're diving into today. We're going to break down the 7 canned foods every senior should avoid at all costs, and on the flip side, the 2 types of canned foods you can enjoy, guilt-free, and even get some health benefits from. But before we get into it, drop a comment below telling us where you're watching from. And make sure to subscribe to the Age with Strength channel so you don't miss any of our simple, powerful tips for staying healthy the natural way. And one important note, this video is for educational purposes only. It's not a substitute for medical advice or personalized nutritional guidance. Always consult your doctor or a healthcare professional before making changes to your diet. A lot of people think the biggest issue with canned foods is just a loss of flavor or texture. But the reality is far more serious. What's hiding inside? Those cans can directly impact the health of anyone over 60. The first villain, excess sodium. To make canned foods last months or even years on the shelf, manufacturers typically load them with salt. The result? Every spoonful of soup, every forkful of beans, every bite of canned veggies could contain more sodium than your body needs for the entire day. And since aging bodies tend to retain more fluid and become more sensitive to salt, that adds up to a constant risk of high blood pressure, bloating, heart failure, and even kidney failure. But salt isn't the only problem. Many canned foods are packed with hidden sugars used to enhance flavor and mask the loss of freshness. For those dealing with pre-diabetes, insulin resistance, or excess weight, that's like lighting a slow-burning fuse. Sugar builds up in the bloodstream, increases fat in the liver, and speeds up cellular aging. And then there are the chemical preservatives and the infamous BPA, a substance found in the inner lining of many cans. Numerous U.S. studies, including research from the National Institutes of Health (NIH), show that BPA can disrupt hormones, harm bone health, and even increase the risk of certain cancers. For an aging body already dealing with slower regeneration, this ongoing exposure is like throwing sand into an already delicate engine. To put it another way, it's like putting adulterated fuel into a vintage car that needs special care. Sure, it might run for a while, but slowly the parts wear down and problems start showing up where you least expect them. That's what happens with canned foods. On the outside, they seem convenient and harmless, but inside, they carry a heavy burden that builds up in the body over the years. That's why, in the next section, we're going to reveal the 7 most dangerous canned foods for people over 60. And yes, some of them might be sitting in your pantry right now. The first canned food to avoid: canned soups. When we think of canned soups, the first thing that comes to mind is convenience and maybe even comfort. After all, who doesn't like the idea of cracking open a can on a cold day and having a hot meal ready in minutes? But that convenience hides a major risk, especially for those over 60. Most canned soups sold in the U.S. contain such high amounts of sodium that a single serving can easily exceed half the recommended daily limit, according to the American Heart Association. Sodium intake for adults should not go beyond 1,500 milligrams per day. But many canned soups pack 900 milligrams or more into just 1 cup. That means a single bowl could be putting a huge strain on your heart and kidneys. This excess salt causes your body to retain fluid, which increases blood volume and forces your heart to work harder. For anyone with high blood pressure, a history of heart failure, or kidney issues, This simple meal can quickly trigger a health crisis. Think swollen legs, shortness of breath, blood pressure spikes, and even stroke risk. Another concern is that many canned soups don't just contain salt, they also include preservatives, unhealthy fats, and even hidden sugars to enhance flavor. It's like eating a chemical cocktail disguised as comfort food, tasty on the tongue, but weakening your body bit by bit. The truth is, a homemade soup made with fresh vegetables, legumes, or even frozen ingredients isn't just more delicious, packed with real nutrients, fiber, and vitamins that help protect your heart and immune system. Swapping canned soup for the homemade kind is a simple change that can make a huge difference in your health and longevity. Next up, we're going to talk about a canned food that looks harmless but hides a serious threat for anyone managing their blood sugar. The second canned food to avoid: baked beans and similar varieties. With sweet sauces, beans are incredibly nutritious, and when prepared simply, they provide fiber, plant-based protein, and key minerals like iron and magnesium. But the canned versions with sweet sauces so common on American shelves turn this healthy food into a real health hazard. Most brands of baked beans contain large amounts of added sugar. Just half a cup can have up to 12 grams of sugar. That's about 3 heaping teaspoons. It might not sound like much, but for anyone over 60, that sugar hits your system like a silent bomb, spiking blood, glucose quickly, and putting extra stress on your pancreas. For people already dealing with prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, this is especially dangerous. The sugar in these sauces increases insulin resistance, encourages belly fat accumulation, and fuels inflammation, all of which speed up cellular aging. It's like every bite is forcing your metabolism to work against you instead of for you, and it's not just the sugar. These cans also often pack in excess sodium and preservatives that put a strain on your kidneys and heart. What could have been a healthy meal ends up being a cocktail of ingredients that raise your blood pressure, promote weight gain, and increase your risk of cardiovascular issues. A much better alternative: cook your beans at home from scratch, or even use canned beans with no sauce and low sodium. Just saute them with some onion, garlic, and olive oil, and you've got a delicious dish that actually supports your health. Coming up next, a canned food many people by thinking it's a healthy choice. Third, canned food to avoid: regular canned vegetables with added salt. Many people assume canned vegetables are a healthy option. After all, they're still veggie, something we're always told to eat more of. But the reality is that most of these processed products are loaded with sodium and lose a significant portion of their nutrients during the preservation process. To make them shelf-stable for months, manufacturers add a hefty dose of salt. A single serving of canned corn, peas, or carrots can contain up to 400 milligrams of sodium. Eat 2 or 3 servings in a day, and you've already blown past the American Heart Association's recommended limit. This excess contributes to fluid retention, high blood pressure, and kidney overload. On top of that, the canning process involves high heat, which destroys many of the more delicate vitamins like vitamin C and several B vitamins. So not only are you getting an unnecessary salt load, but the vegetables you're eating are also nutritionally weaker than their fresh or even frozen counterparts, and there's more. Canned vegetables are often soaked in a brine that contains additives and may even carry traces of metals from the can's inner lining. Over time, frequent consumption of these products adds substances to your body that your system has to work hard to eliminate, putting extra strain on your kidney. A practical and safer alternative is to choose fresh or frozen vegetables. Frozen options in particular are picked at peak ripeness and flash frozen, which helps preserve their nutrients and flavor. They offer the same convenience as canned vegetables, just without the sodium and preservatives. Next up, let's talk about another staple in American pantries. That seems like a great source of protein. Fourth, canned food to avoid: canned fish. In refined oil, fish is often praised as a healthy food, especially because it's rich in protein and beneficial fatty acids like omega-3. But not all canned fish delivers these benefits. Many products you'll find on U.S. shelves, like sardines and tuna, are packed in refined vegetable oils, usually soybean, corn, or cottonseed oil. These oils end up canceling out much of the fish's nutritional value. Refined oils are high in pro-inflammatory omega-6 fats. When consumed in excess, they throw off the body's balance between omega-3s and omega-6, fueling inflammation that harms the heart, joints, and even the brain. Instead of supporting healthy aging, this kind of canned fish can become a silent threat. And it doesn't stop at the oil. Many of these cans are also loaded with added salt to boost flavor and shelf life. That means every serving could be giving you a combo of too much sodium and low quality. A dangerous mix for anyone who needs to protect their cardiovascular health. For seniors who often face issues like high blood pressure, elevated cholesterol, or chronic inflammation, this kind of product can accelerate complications and weaken the body even more. It's like pouring dirty oil into an engine. Instead of premium fuel, it might keep running, but it wears out the parts much faster. If you enjoy canned fish, the better choice is to go for versions packed in water or even an extra virgin olive oil, which helps preserve the fish's benefits without the harmful side effects of refined oils. That way, this potential health food actually lives up to its reputation. Next, we're diving into one of the most dangerous items on grocery store shelves. Fifth, canned food to avoid. Processed canned meats like Spam, canned chili, and similar products. Processed canned meats might just be one of the most dangerous food choices for people over 60. Items like Spam, canned beef, or ready-to-eat chili may seem tasty and convenient, but they pack a toxic combo of ingredients that seriously burden the body. The first red flag: extremely high sodium content. Just one slice of Spam, for instance, can contain over 700 milligrams of sodium. That means in a single meal, you could easily exceed the American Heart Association's daily limit. This sodium overload promotes high blood pressure, increases the risk of heart failure, and puts immense pressure on your kidneys. Another alarming factor is the use of preservatives, which are added to extend shelf life and give the meat its color. Multiple studies, including those supported by the National Cancer Institute, link frequent consumption of processed meats to a higher risk of colorectal cancer and cardiovascular disease. And as we age, the body becomes less efficient at repairing cellular damage. Making this exposure even more harmful, these meats are also typically loaded with saturated fats, which raise LDL bad cholesterol and contribute to plaque buildup in the arteries. It's like each can is a ticking time bomb for your circulatory systems, speeding up the processes that can lead to heart attacks and strokes. The truth is, while they might be convenient, processed canned meats offer far more risk than reward. Swapping them out for fresh or even frozen protein sources like chicken, fish, or homemade legumes is a much smarter choice for anyone aiming to age with vitality and independence. Next up, let's talk about another canned item that seems harmless but hides some serious traps. Sixth, canned food to avoid. Canned ready-made sauces, canned tomato sauce, chili with meat. They all seem like convenient time savers for meal prep. But behind that convenience lies a cocktail of ingredients that can seriously impact your health, especially if you're over 60. The first major concern is sodium. Many of these sauces contain over 500 milligrams in just half a cup. Let's be honest, no one's stopping at just half a cup. Preparing a plate of pasta can easily mean consuming 2 or 3 times that amount. The result? Extra strain on your heart, which has to handle more blood volume, and on your kidneys, which have to work overtime to filter it all out. Another hidden culprit in these sauces is sugar. Yes, even tomato sauce. Manufacturers often add sugar to cut the natural acidity and enhance flavor. But that means every bite might contain multiple teaspoons of sugar without you even realizing it. For anyone managing diabetes or insulin resistance, this can be a silent but serious threat. In addition to salt and sugar, many of these products also contain low-quality oils, artificial colors, and preservatives that irritate the stomach, impair digestion, and fuel inflammatory processes. Instead of nourishing the body, they silently weaken it. A simple alternative is to make your own sauces at home using fresh tomatoes, or even canned tomatoes without salt or additives. With some natural herbs and spices, you can turn them into a delicious, healthy sauce. That way, you control what goes on your plate and protect your health in the process. Now, let's talk about a food that many consider a convenient and even healthy dessert, but could actually be a hidden enemy too. Your body, seventh canned food to avoid. Canned fruits in syrup. At first glance, canned fruits seem like a quick and even healthy option. After all, it's fruit, right? But when they're soaked in sugary syrup, they go from being a source of vitamins and fiber to becoming a dessert loaded with risks, especially for those over 60. Most versions on American grocery shelves come packed in thick syrup loaded with refined sugar. Just half a cup of canned peaches or pineapple in syrup can contain over 20 grams of sugar. That's 5 full teaspoons. For people with diabetes, prediabetes, or even those trying to maintain a healthy weight. This sugar bomb can send blood glucose levels skyrocketing, and it doesn't stop there. Now let's talk about a food that many consider a convenient and even healthy dessert, but could actually be a hidden. Canned fruits seem like a quick and even healthy option. After all, it's fruit, right? But when they're soaked in sugary syrup, they go from being a source of vitamins and fiber to becoming a dessert loaded with risks, especially for those over 60. Most versions on American grocery shelves come packed in thick syrup loaded with refined sugar. Just half a cup of canned peaches or pineapple in syrup can contain over 20 grams of sugar. That's 5 full teaspoons. For people with diabetes, prediabetes, or even those trying to maintain a healthy weight, this sugar bomb can send blood glucose levels skyrocketing, and it doesn't stop there. That sugar spike increases insulin release, encourages abdominal fat buildup, and triggers inflammatory responses that speed up cellular aging. For your heart, liver, and even brain, the long-term impact can be devastating. It's as if every spoonful causes invisible wear and tear that adds up over the years. Another important point, during the canning process, fruits lose some of their fiber and heat-sensitive vitamins, like vitamin C, so not only are you getting way too much sugar, but you're also eating a nutritionally downgraded version of the fruit, offering far less than its fresh or frozen counterparts. If you love convenience, the better choice is to go for fresh fruit, frozen fruit, or canned fruit packed in natural juice with no added sugar. That way, you still enjoy the sweetness without sabotaging your health. Now that we've covered the 7 canned foods that should be avoided at all costs, here's the good news. There are safe, even beneficial canned options out there if you know what to look for. Up next, we'll reveal 2 canned foods you can keep on your plate without guilt that can actually help protect your health. After so many examples of dangerous canned foods, it might seem like all of them should be banned from your pantry. But the truth is, there are exceptions. And one of the best ones is canned tomatoes. When chosen wisely, canned tomatoes without added salt and in BPA-free packaging are considered a safe and even beneficial option. That's because during cooking, tomatoes release a compound called lycopene, a powerful antioxidant that helps protect the heart, skin, and even reduces the risk of certain types of cancer, according to research from the Harvard School of Public Health. Interestingly, lycopene becomes even more bioavailable when tomatoes are cooked, making the canned version especially valuable. Plus, canned tomatoes are a great base for homemade sauces, soups, and stews without the preservatives and excess salt found in pre-made commercial sauces. This gives older adults full control over what goes on their plate, allowing them to season meals in a balanced and natural way. Of course, brand selection matters. Look for labels that say no salt added and opt for BPA-free cans to get the benefits without added risks. That way you get the flavor and convenience, while actually boosting your health instead of harming it. And the good news doesn't stop there. There's another canned food that's not only safe, but can actually be a powerful ally for your bones, brain, and heart. Let's talk about it next. Second canned food you can safely enjoy: wild-caught canned salmon. Among all the problematic canned foods, wild-caught canned salmon stands out as a truly nutritious and health-supportive option. Unlike processed meats and fish packed in refined oils, canned salmon retains much of its natural nutritional value, offering major benefits, especially for those over 60. One of its biggest advantages is omega-3, a healthy fat known to reduce inflammation, support heart health, and improve circulation. Studies from the Mayo Clinic have shown that regular consumption of omega-3-rich fish is linked to lower risk of cardiovascular disease, strokes, and even cognitive decline. So by adding canned salmon to your routine, you're not just feeding your body, you're protecting your heart and mind. Another bonus, Many versions of wild salmon in cans come with soft, edible bones. These are an excellent natural source of calcium, which is key for maintaining bone health and preventing osteoporosis. Common concern for seniors, canned salmon is also convenient, affordable, and versatile. You can add it to salads, sandwiches, or mix it into warm dishes, getting both flavor and nutrition without the harmful additives. Just make sure you choose wild-caught versions, which offer a better nutritional profile than farm-raised salmon, and stick with BPA-free packaging. So, unlike so many other canned foods that harm your health, canned salmon is a powerful ally for aging with vitality, helping maintain strong bones, a sharp mind, and a healthy heart. Now that we've covered the 7 canned foods to avoid and the 2 you can enjoy without fear, it's time to wrap things up with an inspiring final message, an invitation to discover even more natural ways to care for your health. Did you know that there are hundreds of natural solutions, proven, safe, and within your reach to relieve pain, regulate blood pressure, improve sleep, digestion, and even support diabetes control in a complementary way? If you're interested in a more natural, intelligent, and effective path to take care of your health, then you need to discover the Natural Healing Guide. This complete ebook brings together the very best of natural medicine: herbs, essential oils, supplements, home remedies for blood pressure, cholesterol, anxiety, pain, skin, and much more. And the best part, with clear, safe, and practical guidance, even for those who are just starting out. The link is in the first pinned comment of this video. Don't miss it. Now that you know which canned foods to avoid and which ones you can confidently include on your plate, it's important to remember that healthy aging doesn't require massive changes overnight. It starts with small, daily choices. Every time you swap a canned soup for a homemade version, you're giving your body a quiet gift: more years of energy, independence, and quality of life. Whether you're 60, 70, or even 80, it's never too late to care for yourself. Your heart, bones, brain, even your skin feel the effects of your choices. And every healthy decision opens the door to lighter, happier days. Think of each meal as an opportunity to nourish your body and honor the precious time you have now. I want to hear from you. Which of these canned foods was most common in your pantry? And do you already use any of the safer alternatives we talked about today? Drop your answer in the comments. Your experience might help someone else in our community make better choices too, when it comes to health, especially after 6-0. It's not about fads or surface-level advice. You need reliable information, grounded in science and experience, so you can make confident decisions. Knowledge is one of the most powerful tools for aging with autonomy. And once you understand how food and habits impact your body, it becomes much easier to make choices that truly protect your life. So keep following our content. Subscribe to the Age with Strength channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Here, you'll always find clear guidance based on trusted medical research and adapted to your